My relationship ended last Friday night, though she hasn't realized it yet. Before heading out with her friends to a concert, I overheard my girlfriend laughing as she said, I shaved my whole body, just in case. They all cracked up. I stayed silent. The next morning, while she was still groggy and hungover, she discovered her belongings packed neatly by the front door. I didn't shout. I didn't cry. I didn't demand answers. That one sentence was all I needed. Her words played on repeat in my head the entire night while she was gone, just in case. It was a light-hearted remark to her, but to me it revealed everything. If the chance came along with a stranger, she was prepared to take it. What she thought was a harmless joke with her friends landed like a bullet in my chest. Proof of how little respect she had for me and for our 2-year relationship. Her name is Ashley. We shared my apartment, since only my name is on the lease. That detail would matter very soon. She'd been getting ready in the bedroom with her friends Becca and Jess while I sat in the living room, pretending to watch TV. The door was cracked, and their voices carried easily. They chattered excitedly about the band, their outfits, how much they'd drink. And then Ashley dropped that line. Jess shrieked with laughter, while Becca's laugh was weaker, almost uneasy, but she laughed too. I froze. My blood turned cold as I stared at the muted TV, those words replaying again and again. It wasn't just the possibility of cheating. It was how deliberate it was. How she could say it openly in front of her friends, turning my potential humiliation into part of their girls' night amusement. When they finally came out, Ashley was glowing. She'd spent hours perfecting her look. She wore a dress I'd never seen before. She leaned in and gave me a quick, staged kiss. We're heading out, she said cheerfully. Don't wait up, it's going to be late. Okay, I replied evenly. Have fun. Be safe. She didn't notice a thing. Not the look in my eyes, not the shift in me. To her, I was still the compliant boyfriend she could leave behind while she went out to keep her options open. Once the door shut and silence settled over the apartment, I just sat there. I didn't feel rage, I felt clarity. It was as if a switch had been flipped. Every red flag from the past 2 years lined up perfectly. The way she'd hide her phone, the late work dinners that stretched past 2 a.m., the fond way she spoke about her exes. Suddenly, it all made sense. So I got to work. From the closet, I pulled down 3 duffel bags and a couple of boxes. I methodically cleared her side of the closet, folding her clothes, boxing up her shoes. I swept all her makeup and endless lotions from the bathroom into another box. I wasn't reckless. Nothing was broken. This wasn't about destruction. It was about logistics. An eviction. By 3 a.m., every single one of her belongings was packed and stacked neatly by the front door. I set her keys on top of the pile and took a time-stamped photo at 3:17 a.m. Then I went to the guest room. I had no desire to sleep in her bed. Around 4 a.m., she stumbled in drunk and noisy. I heard her trip over the boxes and curse, followed by silence. Kevin, she called softly, suddenly sober. I didn't answer. She wandered through the apartment, saw the empty closet, the bare nightstand. I heard her sharp intake of breath before she shouted, Kevin, what the hell is this? Then came the banging on the guest room door. Open this door. What's going on? I stayed quiet, earplugs in. After 20 minutes of yelling and sobbing, she gave up. I listened as she dragged each bag and box out, one at a time. Nearly an hour later, the front door slammed shut, and it was the sweetest sound I'd ever heard. Her calls and texts started immediately, piling up from confusion to anger to desperation. I ignored them all. I finally fell asleep at dawn. When I woke, I felt peace for the first time in years. In the kitchen, I saw a crumpled, tear-stained note she'd left. I tossed it unread into the trash. My first call wasn't to her, it was to my sister Jenna. Jenna's a lawyer, sharp, practical, and never a fan of Ashley. It's over, I told her. I explained everything. Good, she said at first. Then her legal mind kicked in. Let's handle this properly. Is her name on the lease? No, just mine. Perfect. That makes her a guest, not a tenant. You had every right to revoke permission and remove her. And since you gave back all her belongings, she can't accuse you of theft. First step, change the locks today. Already called the locksmith, I told her. He'll be here at 10. Good boy, she said. Now about the car. Ah, yes, the car. A year ago, Ashley's old one broke down. She wanted something nicer, but her credit was a disaster. She begged me to co-sign for a 2-year-old Audi. I hesitated, but eventually gave in. My name was on that loan right beside hers. She made the payments, but I was equally on the hook. What about the car? I asked. As co-signer, you're just as responsible for the debt, Jenna explained. Which also means you have rights to the asset if she defaults or violates the terms. Grab the loan agreement. Read me the section on delinquency and repossession. I pulled the file from my cabinet. The contract stated that if a payment was over 30 days late, the lender could repossess the vehicle without notice. It also required the cosigner to notify the lender of any major changes in the borrower's circumstances, like address or employment. She'll try to use the car as leverage, Jenna warned. Either she'll threaten to stop paying, leaving you with the bill, or she'll dangle it to force contact. Keep that document close. We'll neutralize her move before she makes it. The locksmith came and went. The new keys felt solid in my hand. Then I did something long overdue. I combed through our shared finances. Each month she'd Venmo me her half of the rent and utilities. As I scrolled back, I noticed she'd been late 4 times in the past year, once by more than 2 weeks. I took screenshots of every instance, complete with timestamps. This wasn't about the money. It was about building a record, a pattern of unreliability. The next battleground, as I expected, was among our mutual friends. By midday Saturday, the smear campaign was in full swing. My buddy Mark shot me a text. Hey man, Ashley is blowing up the group chat. She's telling everyone you lost it and kicked her out while she was asleep. People are freaking out. According to her, I was some jealous, controlling lunatic who had been itching for a reason to dump her. She conveniently left out the shaved remark, of course. In her version, I just snapped out of nowhere. I called Mark right away. She's lying. You know there's more to this than she's telling. Yeah, I figured, he said. But she's really selling it, crying, saying she's scared of you. This was dangerous ground. A public he said. She said would only get messy. I needed undeniable proof. That's when I thought of Becca, the friend who had actually been there when Ashley made the comment. Her laugh that night had been nervous, almost uneasy. I scrolled through my contacts until I found her number and sent a short text. Hey Becca, I know this is awkward, but I need to ask. Was I wrong for being upset about what Ashley said last night before you all left? Her reply came almost immediately. No, you weren't. It was a crappy thing to say. I even told her that in the car. That was my opening. She's telling people I kicked her out for no reason. Would you be willing to confirm what was actually said? Maybe share what came up in the group chat? I'm not trying to start a war. I just want the truth out there. 10 minutes of silence. I figured she didn't want to get dragged in. Then my phone buzzed. It was a screenshot from Becca. It came from their girls' group chat, timestamped Friday at 9:15 p.m., about 20 minutes after they left my place. Jess had written, "That hot guitarist is totally checking you out, Ash." Ashley's reply, I know, right? Fingers crossed, LOL. Good thing I came prepared. Becca's only input was a simple eye roll emoji. There it was, the smoking gun. This wasn't some careless slip of the tongue. It was deliberate, planned, and the joke continued long after she left my apartment. I sent the screenshot to Mark. This is the joke she made. Share it in the group if you want. I'm not going to argue with her, but people deserve to see the truth. His reply was instant, holy crap. Okay, sending it now. I can only imagine the chaos that erupted in that chat. Within the hour, I had messages from 3 different friends. Dude, I'm so sorry. We should have known better. Ashley's nuts. Just like that, her carefully spun story collapsed. One piece of evidence from her own friend had torn it apart. Ashley, predictably, lost it. She accused Becca of betrayal. Later, Mark told me Becca's blunt response. I'm not lying for you, Ashley. What you did was wrong. Then Becca left the group chat entirely. With the friend circle handled, I shifted focus back to the car. I knew it was only a matter of time before she tried to use it against me. Sure enough, Monday morning, a furious email landed in my inbox, her only way to reach me since I blocked her number. The subject line, the car. You think you can ruin my life and get away with it? You co-signed for my car. My car. If you don't mean me to talk this out like adults, I'm stopping the payments. Let's see how your perfect credit score looks then. Ball's in your court. It was exactly the move Jenna had predicted. But instead of panic, I felt calm. She had just handed me exactly what I needed. Written proof of her intent to default. I didn't bother replying. Instead, I called the auto finance company. Hello, my name is Kevin Miller. I'm the co-signer on loan number 788B4. The primary borrower is Ashley Benson. I'm calling because I believe the asset may be at risk. Miss Benson no longer lives at the listed address, and she's notified me in writing of her plan to stop making payments. The loan officer's tone was all business. Do you have that notice in writing, sir? Yes, I said. It's an email timestamp this morning at 8:42 a.m. I can forward it. Please send it to our collections department. Once we have it, we'll open a file. Given her stated intent to default and her unstable living situation, we may need to secure the asset. Do you know where the vehicle is currently located? I did. Mark had told me she was crashing at Jess's place, and I knew where Jess lived. The car's usually parked on the street outside that address. Thank you, Mr. Miller. We'll take it from here. I forwarded Ashley's email, then sat back. I hadn't lied. I hadn't exaggerated. I had simply fulfilled my duty as a co-signer, reporting the risk. The rest was up to them. 2 days later, Wednesday night, I was driving home from the gym when I decided to swing by Jess's apartment. And there it was, a tow truck hooking up Ashley's Audi. She and Jess were on the sidewalk, screaming at the repo guy, who ignored them with the calm indifference of someone used to this scene. Ashley was sobbing, full-blown hysterics. I didn't stop. I didn't slow down. I just drove past, like watching a ghost fade into traffic. No surge of triumph. No bitter satisfaction. Just a quiet sense of balance being restored. She'd made her choices. These were the consequences. The fallout was swift. She left a dozen raging voicemails on my unblocked phone. I had unblocked her just to hear what she'd say. She threatened to sue me, accused me of stealing her car, of destroying her life. Empty threats from someone who had lost all control. I saved every voicemail to a folder, then blocked her again. The final piece fell into place about a month later. Things had gone quiet. I even met Becca for coffee to thank her. She told me Ashley had burned every bridge, alienating everyone with her lies and drama. She was still stuck at Jess's place, broke, miserable without a car. One afternoon, I got a call from an unknown number. Normally I'd ignore it, but I was waiting on a contractor's call, so I answered. Hi, am I speaking with Kevin Miller? A professional-sounding woman asked. My name is Susan. I'm the property manager for Elm Park Apartments. I'm calling for a landlord reference for an applicant, Ashley Benson. She listed you as her most recent landlord. I nearly laughed. The audacity was unreal. Even after everything, she was trying to use me to secure her next move. I kept my voice steady. I can help with that. Great, Susan said. Can you confirm Miss Benson was a tenant of yours for the last 2 years? She stayed at my apartment for about 22 months, I said carefully. But she was never on the lease. She was a long-term guest. There was a pause. I see. Did she contribute to the rent? Yes. She transferred her half to me each month. And were those payments timely? I pulled up the screenshots I'd saved. According to my records, she was late 4 times last year. February, May, August, and October. The August payment was 16 days late. Susan's tone cooled. And one last question. Based on your experience, would you rent to Miss Benson again? I let the silence linger. No comment. Right, she said crisply. That's all I need. Thank you for your time, Mr. Miller. She hung up, and I knew without a doubt Ashley's application was finished. I hadn't lied. I hadn't slandered her. Just the truth, enough on its own.